What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another exciting episode of Unplug. It's your boy Pico Blacks, and everybody doing today. Hope everybody's having a great day, a wonderful day, a blessed day as well. Before the show begins, do me a favor, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, feel free to go over there, type my name, Unplug with Pico Black, hit that notification bell. You can also follow me on TikTok, it's Pico City, and I'm also on Instagram at Pico Black 74. I want to thank everybody for continuing to watch my show. I know a lot of people watching the Tyson and I forgot the other guy named the Tyson fight today, but the show must go on. During the show, do me a favor, feel free to leave a comment. Feel free to hit that like button before the show, after the show, and definitely feel free to share the content. It's free content. It's on the house. Hey, knock yourself out. Let's just dive right into it, shall we? Now, in order to tell the story, in order to tell the topic on today, I have to go back to how this all started. I think it was a few days ago. I put a topic up about, should true Christians or true believers of God, real true believers of God, not these phony ones, the real ones, should they be okay with their kids being gay? And if they are gay, should the people, or parents rather, or people or guardian, is it okay to participate in the wedding if they happen to marry the same sex? So, long to break it down, if a man marries a man or if a woman marries a woman, gay or lesbian couples, is it okay? Now, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and that I can't take away from anybody. It don't make you an enemy of me. It don't make you anything. We're just going to continue to be what we are. So a lot of people, well, I don't say a lot of people, a couple of people gave their thoughts. And before I say anything about that, I just want to say thank you to the people that gave their thoughts on it, because they kept it respectful. They kept it peaceful. Nobody got mad at each other. Nobody cussed each other out, because once again, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Now, by that being said, is it appropriate? Let's put it that way. Is it appropriate for true believers of God, true saints, 100% bona fide saints, is it okay for them to participate in their children's wedding if they marry the same sex? And remember, this is just me. This is my own personal opinion. This has nothing to do with anybody. So everybody's entitled to their own opinion. So I'm going to just be honest about it and say it's probably not a good idea that you do. And I'll tell you why. There's countless scriptures in the Bible. Once again, you have to believe in the Bible, and therefore to believe in the Bible, you have to believe in God, because God and the Bible goes together like coffee and donuts. So, and I know some of us have kids, we want to be there to love our kids and support our kids, which is cool. You're supposed to support your kids, but you don't support your kids in everything that they do, because all of our souls has to be accounted, whether we like it or not. And I've said this before. Let's just say, for instance, I'm a saint of God and my kids are sinners. That doesn't mean I should not love my children. They're my kids I have to love them. They're my kid. Well, I don't have to, but I'm going to love them. They're my kids. So it's not I'm a saint, you guys are sinners, so I'm going to heaven, you guys are going to hell. I'm going to the kingdom, you guys are going to hell. No, it's not like that. I would never say that. But just because they're your kids, that means nothing to the Lord. And let me break it down, because I'm not trying to say kids don't mean nothing to God. I would never say that. What I'm saying is the Lord only deals with being right. He didn't say, live for me, keep my laws, keep my statutes, do what I ask you to do. But then again, on the same side, if your son or daughter happens to go that way, support them and be there for them. He never said that, because in his eyes, sin is sin. There's no big sin. There's no little sin. There's no male sin, there's no female sin, there's no son sin, there's no daughter sin. It's just flat out sin. Now, mind you, there's a scripture in the Bible. It says, don't partake in no man's sin. And what goes for men pretty much goes for women. So that means you can't partake in the things that the people of the world do. Simple. This is not a hate crime. This isn't a hate speech. This is just me telling the truth. The thing you're supposed to do is try to get your kids or whoever to walk in the light. But yet you have a lot of churches that go along with this stuff. Remember, we just had this topic about the LGBT community is in the church, and the pastors are supporting the church. The pastors are supporting this cause, and they're supposed to be servants of the Lord. Now, if you don't see nothing wrong with that, then you just probably missed the whole situation, because you can't serve two masters. You can only serve one. That's in God's term. That's in man's term. You can only serve one. You can't have a person serving two kings. You can't serve King Arthur and King George at the same time. You have to be loyal to one. Now, yeah, you can cross one out and pledge their allegiance, but you got to do the things they want you to do. Yeah, there's no problem. So if that goes in that world, same thing in the biblical, well, not biblical, same thing in the Lord's world. You have to cross him out to be with the other one, or you have to cross Satan out to be with God. So that's why it's not even a thin line. It's a real big fat line. Ooh, excuse me. It's a real big fat line on what you need to do. God is not going to follow the ways of man. No matter how good they put it or how good women put it, he's not going to follow that. Remember, we got it in reverse. We're here to serve him. It's not the other way around. So if he say, hey, you can't do it, you just can't do it. I'm not saying love your kid less, but you just can't do it. You can't partake of no man's sin. You can't partake in any of that. So that pretty much answers the question. Yes, love your children. Be there for your children. Support your children if it's the right thing to support. You can't marry a gay couple in a church, a real church. I ain't talking about these fake churches, a real church. And then if you can't, they'll try their best to shut you down. That goes to show you how far we are from doing right. Right is right here in our faces all the time. 365 days a year. It's in your face. But it's up to us as a people to grasp onto the truth and let the truth lead us out of the darkness into the light. But yet we see more people leaving the light and going to the darkness. That's why you can say, that's why they can say, oh, there's nothing wrong with that. Or God loves everybody. Well, we all know that was a lie. 2, don't look for the Lord to bless your marriage and you're living in a gay marriage. Don't expect him to do it, because once again, he doesn't tolerate sin. People can fix it up all the way they want to. Now, if you're going to be gay, guess what? Newsflash. Be gay. Leave God out of it. I'll have more respect for you if you do something like that. But you can't be going around getting married in the church and they say, hey, we taking these vows in front of the congregation and God. You know, God, what you do, let God, can no man set. Do people even know what they're saying? You can't take vows like that in front of God, because God will blow on that boy just as quick as y'all got together. So no, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But leave God out the picture, because God's not to be played with. Everybody's running and trying to make their own version of the Lord when there's actually really only one version of the Lord. There's only one version. And that's his way. So you gotta watch that. Just because they're your kids, that don't make, guess what? Your kids are only special to you. My kids are only special to me and their mother. The world don't owe them nothing, just like the world don't owe me anything. But when we have these children, we think they're just God's gift to the world. No, you have sex unprotected, you have a child. That's not considered God's gift to the world. That's just you had a baby. It's in our codex. That's just how he made it. You have sex before marriage, or we're going to flip it on the sinful side. You have sex unprotected, you're going to have a child. If this woman is nothing wrong with her, nothing wrong with you, you're going to have a child. So we can't flip it around and say, well, this baby's a blessing. No, that child's not a blessing because you didn't do it the right way. Now, I'm not saying it's a curse. I'll never say that. But it's not a blessing because you didn't do it the right way. That goes for me and everybody else that had kids out of wedlock. You didn't do it his way. Remember, you got to get married first. Then you can have sex, have a baby. No problem. You did it the right way. But we out there having kids without having a wife or, out of wedlock. Why would you think God is going to bless that? Let's just be honest. If we're going to be adults, let's be adults all the way to the end. Why? Oh, God bless this. No, he has nothing to do with that. You had sex, you got pregnant. 9 months later, the baby came. You're a mother. He's a father. Only thing you can do is raise that kid, to teach that kid right and wrong. And when he grows up or she grows up, what you taught them will follow them through the years and years to come. Now, I'm not saying they can't get their life together and be a blessing to the Lord once you start doing what he wants you to do. But no, all children aren't born through marriage. You have more children born out of marriage, out of wedlock than in wedlock. So if he don't put his hand and say, I bless this child, what makes you think he's going to put his hand and say, I bless this couple and it's the same sex marriage? What? It really, it don't make sense. You can't make that make sense. But man will allow it to happen. But man isn't God. And I've said this once and I said it 1,000 times. If he wants us to live a certain way, the best thing we can do is live that way. He's not going to force nothing down our throats. He's not going to come off no clouds and swan dive to the earth and say, you, and you, y'all holy. You over there, y'all holy too. No. It's right here in our face. And I know, believe me, I know it's a hard pill to swallow for some people because they're our children. But you got to think for 1 second. Your children got to get judged just like you do. And when you partake in that sin, and in the day of judgment, he's going to bring it right back to you and say, hey, remember when your son and daughter did this and you was there and you supported it and you was there for these people and you did all this, did all that. And I simply told you to stay away from these people. What are you going to tell them? But God, that's my son. That's my daughter. He don't care about that. He don't care about it. He never cared about it. If you want to be frank about it, he didn't. Well, he don't. Unless that child's trying to do right or try to get his life together to serve the Most High. It's just another child, just like all the billions of other children out there in the world. Because they have to grow up too and make a decision who they gonna serve, God or man, just as well as we did, just as well as our ancestors did. We all of us have to meet the Lord, whether we like it or not. You can believe in him and you can't, and you don't have to believe in him, but you're gonna meet him. So what are you gonna tell him? I love my kid enough. I had to support this marriage. Then he married a man and you have a son and she married a daughter. I mean, she married a woman and you have a daughter and you're there 100%. So now what happens? Now that child, if they adopt the child or if they have a surrogate, whatever, what are they going to teach that child? They can teach him, But they're going to leave that part out because they're doing exactly what they want to do. And when that child grow up, they're going to tell that child, hey, it's okay. And guess what? That's another lost soul. See, the thing is, it's always been about souls. It's always been about souls. So there's really no excuse. There's really no way out. So long story short, no. And I know when I put it on my page, people had some comments to say, which is fine. People are entitled to their own opinion, but you really have to sit and think about this thing. You have to sit down and evaluate and dissect this thing and take it apart and think about it. If I'm a real churchgoer, I mean, when I say real, I mean a real churchgoer, and I'm trying to get my life together, that's only going to hinder what I'm doing when it comes to the Lord, because he say, don't do it. And you say, I don't do it, but this is my son or my daughter. You right there choosing what you want. Remember, there's only two: God, Satan. There's nothing in between. So either you're going to lean on his side or you're going to lean on that side. Because if you support one thing, you'll support something else. And then you end up supporting something else. And then you end up supporting something else. The next thing you know, God is out the picture and you're just living just to support your kid. So what do you do in a situation like that? The best thing you can do is stay away from it. Hey, you're my kid. I love you. I'm going to always be there for you. But I can't partake in that. I just can't do it. And you never know. That kid may wake up one day. He might not say it today, but he might say it tomorrow. Or she might say it tomorrow and say, you know what, Dad or Mom? Now I understand why you didn't do it. I see why, because I see the way the world is now. So I thank you for letting me go through that trial and tribulation without you. So now I'm beginning to see what the world is. But we want to sit here and we want to cradle our children as if they're diamonds. Their kids are not diamonds. Let's just be honest about it. They're offsprings of humans. That's all it is. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm not saying that they're evil. It's up to them to decide what they want to do in life. It's not up to me. It's not up to you. Some kids come from well-groomed parents and they still turn bad. Some kids come from single-parent homes and they turn out to be good. That's just the way. That's how life throws curveballs at you. Life's going to always throw a curveball. So there you go. And this isn't judging anybody, because like I always say, I'm not a judge, but I'm only telling you what the judge is going to tell you. He's going to tell you the same thing, but he's going to be way harder than what Pico's saying, because his word is him. He is his word. He say don't do it. He's not finna change his colors anytime soon for none of us. Not me, not my kids, not your kids, none of us. Because he already know what's laying down the road. He already know. So the choice is ours. The choice has always been ours. Teach your kids right. Don't sit up here and let your kids fall into this demonic entity that swept the world by storm. No, it's your job as a mother. And it's your job as a father to teach your kids right. The kid you don't have to be in the same household, but you got to plant that root in those kids. Because if you don't, they're going to grow up and they might have babies one day and they're going to mislead those babies, their babies, just like you misled them. It's an ongoing cycle. Oh, my mama let me get away with it. My dad let me get away with it. So my kids grow up. I'm going to let my kids get away with it. It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. So I vote no, don't do it. If you are a true believer of the Lord, you have to obey the Lord and obey what he say. Simple as that. Because when it come to me, you can give me all type of excuses. When it come to him, there's no such thing as yeah, but. It's either yes or no. What are you going to tell him? So that's why you got to be careful with these watered down saints and these watered down preachers and these watered down churches, because churches today in 2024, well, they go for anything. As long as the money's long and they got hundreds and hundreds of people in their congregation, they'll tell you anything you want to hear. Yeah, it's not a problem with that. You got these so-called ministers and prophets and prophetess. They in cahoots with the LGBT community. How the heck is that even possible? Instead of leading them down the right path, they cool with them. And most pastors, well, I don't see nothing wrong with it. But God sees something wrong with it. And if he sees something wrong with it, and you're claiming that you work for God, you should see something wrong with it. Yeah, you should. This topic or conversation, whatever you want to call it, this isn't an embarrassing conversation. It's something that needs to be taught. There's something that needs to be heard through all ears. I don't care if I'm saying it or somebody else is saying it. Stop and listen with your heart and in your mind, because people know when you're telling the truth. Dwayne, what's good, man? People know when you're telling the truth. Knowing you can't be in cahoots with the LGBT community, and you're a pastor running a church and you're trying to lead souls to the Lord, and you with that community, those souls are going to hinder because now you got two different gods in the church. One church say, hey, we don't allow that. Then another church saying, hey, don't do this. There are people just like we are. Of course there are people. They're human, just like any other human. They deserve rights just like any other person. But you can't mix those two. You can't mix God and Satan in the same bowl. You just can't do it. I'm a sinner and I know that. But woe to the ones that do, man. Gay pastors all over the church, and they're married to men. And the funny part about these things are they have people in the audience. God said nothing like that, but yet people are in the audience saying amen and preach. What are you preaching? What are you preaching? That world is not a place for the pulpit if you are a true follower of God. So my vote is no. You shouldn't partake in nobody's sin, because that's not me saying that. That's biblical. Partake in nobody's sins, not even your kids, not your husbands, not your wife, not your mama, not your daddy, not your granddaddy, not your uncle, not your auntie, nobody. If you're trying to make a way for you and try to live right, and they're hindering you, guess what? You got to cut them off. Simple as that. I'm not saying cut them off in a way that I'll never talk to you again. That's your family. You love your family, and you can hang around your family. But when the moment they start talking that stupid stuff, that's when it's time to throw up the piece, saying, well, I'll holler at y'all later, man. It ain't even got to take no beating down nobody's door. No, because Satan will put people right in front of you just to test you out. Satan will make those people ask you questions. Oh, you still serving God, huh? You ain't got to go through all that. Well, yeah, I do. Well, why? Because he's the way, and I'm trying to get my life together. Well, where was he? You know what? I don't even want to talk about it. Well, you know what, bro? Do your thing. Knock yourself out. Believe what you want to believe. You my uncle or whatever. I love you. I'll just holler at y'all some other time. Walk away. Walk away. Because people will sit there and try to nitpick everything you do. You have kids out of wedlock. And the first thing they do is say, hell, how you going to say something like that? You got kids out of wedlock too. Yeah, I had kids out of wedlock too. That means that I did that. I'm trying to get my life together. Or she's trying to get her life together. She don't need you to hinder her. She know what she did, just like he know what he did. Or that he go talking that crazy stuff, and he used to do that too. Yes, used to. That's the past, and I'm getting my life together. So now I have a testimony to tell you. Because if you go down the same path I went down, you're going to end up with the exact same results, maybe even worse. I made it through my trial and tribulation. Will you make it through yours? You might not make it through it. You might not make it through it. Everybody should have the same mindset. Just like someone, well, I'm going to say like, well, yeah, just like me. Dude, when it's time to talk about the Lord, talk about him. We talk about everything else. We talk about this person had a fight and she got pregnant, or she's sleeping with this person's boyfriend or husband, or he's sleeping with this guy's wife, and Pookie and Ray and them jumped on these dudes and they had a dance. We talk about everything else. We never talk about the Lord. Never. So what I'm going to do, I don't care if you're with me or you're against me, because pretty much I can care less. I'm not here to hurt anybody's feelings. This goes for man, woman, and child, wife, girlfriend. I can care less. You get on with your life, because I know that one day this world will end. It will end. Now, you can believe it or you don't have to. That's up to you. But what happens one day when the sky actually cracks? What do? Dang, he was right. It's too late. Because when we all in that line for judgment, it's too late. He's not going to say, well, okay, I'm going to give you 500 more years and you pop back down on earth like nothing ever happened. No, it's done. Choose ye this day who you will serve. Will it be God or man? And the beautiful part about that, the end, the choice is yours. This your boy Black. I'm out of here, man. Thank you guys for listening. Like I said before, feel free to leave a comment. Definitely feel free to hit that like button, and feel free to share the content. It's your boy Black. I'm out of here. You just heard another exciting episode of Unplugged. Until next time, stay frosty, stay toasty. Black man, black woman, let's bring love back to the family. Let's raise our kids up the right way. Teach your kids to fear God. Pray more. And I'm out of here, man. See you guys later. I'll let you guys know when I'll be back, but I am back. Until next time, I'm out of here. This your boy Black signing off, saying take care of yourself and each other.